Have you been out of the gym for a while, or just took off but didn't think it would take that long to get back, or had an injury and it set you back for a short period of time and now you got to get back to the gym? Or maybe a death in the family and you just felt like, you know what, I just need to get my mental clear before I get back into the gym. Well, today we're going to talk about returning back to the gym after a long break. And after a long break, it can be a little bit challenging because when you sit down and think about it, you feel like, you know what, I don't really feel like going, or I don't really think, I'm gonna be back where I was, or maybe I've lost too much muscle, and it's not going to be as difficult as you think it is. It's actually going to probably be a lot easier than you think it is. Now, I'm not saying you can get back and if you were running 5 miles, you can jump back in and start running 5 miles, or that you can just jump in and get back to doing the exact same weight you were doing. But the advantage you do have is your body has what's called muscle memory. And muscle memory allows your body to remember the previous strength and conditioning that it was in before. So sometimes when you get back into the gym and do this exact same workouts, it takes you a shorter amount of time to get back to where you were versus if you started from zero. So muscle memory is really underrated, and a lot of people don't even know about it. You can just start off with something very simple, right? Do your warm up. Of course, when you get back into the gym, I always just suggest doing warm up exercises for each muscle group. So 10 reps for each muscle group. And then take a day and rest. Let your body rest just to kind of get your body back into the conditioning of everything. And then the next time you go in, you can start to add in your sets, your multiple sets, one set, two sets, three sets, and it would make it a little bit smoother transition coming back in. Because if you come back too fast, you can really injure yourself. But it's much better than starting off cold. Because if you start off cold and you haven't done any of these workouts, then you've got to slowly, incrementally get back to the weight that you were doing before. And when you have muscle memory, you can just warm up, maybe do one, two sets that first week coming back, the second week coming back, and then you can almost go full blast back into what you were. But gauge your body, right? Read your body, figure out whether or not it's you feel good and you feel like you can do it. I definitely wouldn't just jump back in, but you can go with the flow and start to figure out what's going to work better for you. And start under what you think you can handle. Like don't if you're curling, like let's say 40-pound dumbbells for big guys or 10-pound dumbbells for small people. If you're curling small, those let's say 10-pound dumbbells, when you come back, start with some fives and just we'll just warm up with them. Get your 10, right? And then go to your next exercise. And then the next time you come back and you do the 5 pounds as your warm up set, just do 10. And then for that second set, then you can go back up to your 10 pounds. But just do one set. Don't do if you were doing 3 sets before, just add one set in the next time. And then on that second week, you can jump up to 3 sets if you want to. That way you don't have to do the one set per week as if you were a novice in the business. Okay, so take it easy. Coming back too hot can cause injuries, and you don't want to do that. If you get in that gym, I know a lot of times it's pride based. Everybody has a lot of pride and feeling like I don't want to lift light weights, or I was doing this before and I want to do this now. And in some cases, there's people in the gym that seen you lift the weight before, and you just want to look like you did when you left. But it's not always a good situation. So take your time. Don't come back too hot because it could cause injury and it could cause major soreness. I'll tell you a story. One time I went to the gym and I was doing biceps, and I normally curl 50 pounds on biceps. And I start out with, something like 15 just to warm up real good. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump back into my 50s. So I do my 50s. and they were hard. And I get it, and I rest. I give me a second set, and I do it again. Ah, and they were, I mean, it was still really difficult. And I go home, give me something to eat, and I'm like, yeah, I feel good. That was great. But what happened was my muscles did not agree. And it took probably 2 weeks. I was walking around like this because I couldn't put my arms straight down because it was so painful. And it took me the longest. It took 2 weeks literally before I could even. And I would try to stretch them out, and I would just have severe pain right in here because I had took too much weight on at such an early time. I should have waited, and it felt like my bicep was just going to come off, and that just ended my workout for like 2 weeks. Really, I could not work arms. So me getting back into the gym was really me getting back out of the gym. So take your time. Don't move too fast. Just move slowly. Make sure your eating is good. You're taking in the proper nutrition. You're getting the proper rest, and just ease yourself back into working out. Don't make it too difficult. Don't make it really, really hard. Because we see a lot of injuries in the gym, and we don't want injuries in the gym. Like an injury can set you back so far, and we don't want that, right? We just want to get in that gym, work out, and get to what we're doing so that we can achieve the best body, the best physique possible. But we want to be healthy doing it. Okay. So another thing to take account of for when you get back into the gym is time management. Like remember to manage your time. Don't don't spend too much time catching up with other people, figuring out what they were doing. Or if you do it more toward the end of the workout. I see a lot of people come in and they'll, hey, I hadn't seen your gym in a long time, and really, and they'll spend 30 to 45 minutes just talking and never really get a workout done. And then by the time it's time to work out, they're like, "Oh, I got to get home. My wife's got some dinner on the stove." So you want to make sure that when you get in there, that you got good time management, right? You talk to people, catch up with who you need to catch up with, right, and then get to that workout. Get to that workout. Take your time. I would definitely say warm up on some cardio. Get your cardiovascular endurance system going really, really well. And then after that, you want to try to get some stretching in, right? Stretch those muscles that you know you're getting ready to work. Normally they're warmed up because you've already done your cardio exercise, and that's just got blood pumping through your body. So then stretch those muscles out real good so that once you get to the exercise, you can then have a really good, successful workout, and you're going to be less injury prone. Okay? Because time off isn't really a bad situation, right? Sometimes we work out so much that our bodies just need to rest. And when you rest, when your body rests, those muscles can heal up because remember, we're microscopically tearing those muscles when we work out. So we want those muscles to repair. And a lot of the time, because we're so regimented in our workout, we have the system. Okay, I got to get in there on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But sometimes the muscles don't have time to heal up 100% before we jump back in on the same workout on the same muscle group. So resting can actually benefit you. I've actually seen, I had a client named Julie, and she came in for 4 weeks, right? She signed up for a month worth of training, 2 times a week, and we worked out for the whole month. And she saw good results. She got a little sore. Of course, the first week you get sore. The second week you don't get as sore. But as she progressed, into that next second and third week, everything's going well. She's telling me her husband is seeing the difference. People around her are seeing a good difference. She's feeling better. She's got more energy. Everything's going really, really well. And she has an injury that she has to take care of. It was like something in her stomach. It wasn't anything that we did, but it was, we were doing sit ups one day and she realized there was something in her stomach that didn't feel right. It turned out she had some obstruction in there, and the doctors had to go in and do a small surgery. So she had to take some time off. But it actually benefited her because once she did the surgery and took some time off, she came back and she was like, it was weird. I felt like I lost more weight after we stopped working out. And what happens there is because now the body has more muscle. So when we first started out, her normal diet, like let's say eating 1,500 calories, her body, let's say it was burning 1,000, right? Where now we've introduced more muscle into the body. So now she's burning, let's say 12 to 1,300 calories. Well, because she didn't change her diet up much, she just kept eating, very clean, good things. Her body's now burning more calories, so she's going to lose more weight. Her body burns more fat at a resting time period. So when she wasn't working out, but she still kept up with good eating habits, she was able to even burn more fat. So it actually benefited her. And then when she got back in, we were able to do some muscle testing and figure out, okay, you can still curl 10 pounds pretty easily. So you didn't lose a lot of muscle in this process either, which is good. So now we could just work with the muscle memory aspect of it, right, and get those muscles back up to par so that they could do a full workout again. And it worked out flawlessly. So don't always look at taking time off as a bad thing. Now, I'm not saying everybody should just go take some time off the gym, but if you've been working out for a while, let's say 5 or 6 months, and you need to take a break, it's okay. Like I often cycle my training anyway. Like I may work out hard for 6 months, and then I might just do like cardio for a few weeks, and then go back and work out hard. But I never do the same type of exercise. So, for instance, if I'm working out hypertrophy or to build muscle for 1 month, that next month I'm going to tone and sculpt the muscle. Right. And this also gives your body time to rest because you can overwork your joints, especially with heavy weights, to the point where you actually damage them. So you want to take the time to just give it some time off so that you can rest those joints and work a much lighter weight. Or in my case, sometimes I'll just do cardio, like walk, take a 2 mile walk, or do sprints, or jump on a treadmill, or maybe even a bike, right? And just start to tone and sculpt my body through diet and letting those muscles rest. And then when I come back into the gym, I'll go through toning exercises, bump those reps up to 12 or 15, and then start to tone and sculpt the muscle. And this way, you can see what you've actually done versus where you need to go, right? Because if you're just steady bulking and steady bulking and steady bulking and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? You have to ask yourself, what's the goal, right? Do I just want to get as big as I can so I can't get big anymore? Or do I want to get a certain size and then start to tone and sculpt those muscles so that my definition shows well and make sure that my joints are okay and prepared so that I'm strong and healthy at the same time? All right. So taking off isn't bad. Isn't bad. There's no catching up, right? It's just that next session. So don't try to go in and feel like, oh, I need to make up for the time that was lost. Don't worry about that. That is not the goal because you can't make that time up. The only thing you can do is prepare yourself to get to that next session, right? Because if you try to push too hard and you're going to injure yourself. There's no doubt about it. And it's not going to be pretty. So make sure that one, you before you even get back, a good idea is to eat well, right? Start to challenge your eating. So if you know next week I'm going to get back into the gym, then this week start to make the proper adjustments in your diet, right? So if you know, okay, I've been taking a break, but I've been eating a lot of candies and cakes or sweets or ice cream. So let me slow that down because when I start working out, I don't need these habits, right? If you know that you've been eating a lot of pastas and rice and red bread, start to slow that down. so that when you get back into the gym, you don't have these bad habits that you have to contend with and try to keep up with your workout. All right. So take the time to make sure that you do both aspects of it. Make sure that the diet is right. Take your time, warm up. When you get to the gym, just do a warm up workout, right? Where you do 10 reps on each muscle group, do your cardio, and get in and get out. And then that next workout, you can come in and go a little bit harder. But gauge it. Feel your body, figure out, okay, this feels good, or nah, maybe next week I could turn it up a little bit more because this is still a little uncomfortable. But don't push too hard too soon because injuries will happen. They will happen. I tell you, I had an injury one time on my back. I was actually doing some deadlifts, and I had 645-pound plates on each side, and I felt good doing it, no problems. But I decided to do an extra rep, and that sent me downhill, and I ended up injuring myself. So you want to avoid injuries at all costs. And if your goal is weight loss, you want to make sure that you are working in that target heart rate zone to make sure you're burning the most amount of fat possible, right? And your target heart rate zone is just 220, which 220 is the maximum a heart can beat, right? Any heart, and you subtract your age, right? You subtract your age from that, and that puts you in your fat burning zone. Actually, I take that back. You subtract your age, that gives you your maximum heart rate. And then you can do up to 70% of that number, and that puts you in your fat burning zone. Okay? So 220 minus your age, which is your maximum heart rate, and then you do up to 70% of that number, and you are burning pure fat the whole time. So if your goal is weight loss, go in that gym and get into your target heart rate before you do anything. Make sure you're in that target. You know what it is, and that you're working in that target heart rate. And you can do it through multiple ways. Some people achieve it through stretching. Some people achieve it through just walking on a treadmill and getting up to that target heart rate, and then you can stay there. I was remember one time I was watching the show, Biggest Loser. I think most of you may have seen it, and basically they put people through what was called a last chance workout, and in that last chance workout, they were able to work as long as they could. So what they did is they would get in their target heart rate zone and walk for like an hour. And one guy did it for like 3 to 4 hours because all you're doing is burning fat that whole time. And your body has a plethora of fat, right? I mean, everything in our body that's not muscle is pretty much fat. We do have ligaments and tendons and other things that's going on in there, but we have a lot of fat. Our body stores fat. So because of that, you can burn it off as long as you take your time and you're doing it at a slow pace. It's not going to hurt you or harm you. It's just going to make you look really, really good. So for fat burning, do that exercise. Of course, make sure that your diet is really, really good. I love to help people lose weight. So if you need help losing weight and you don't have a trainer, go to Changelfe, schedule a session with me. We could do a one-on-one call, a Zoom call, and make sure that you get the proper care and a workout prescription that works for you. And if you haven't heard about our new 3-day challenge, we've got a 3-day reset that's going on right now, and it starts on August 6th. So you go to changelfe.com, sign up, and you can get in for free. Absolutely free. And the good thing is everyone who joins gets a free copy of my new cookbook, Beyond the Recipe, where we teach you how to cook well and cook healthy meals so that once you achieve your weight loss, you can maintain it. That's right. And if you missed the 3-day webinar, then you might be able to catch the 12-week challenge. So, and that's on our website as well. And you have the opportunity of winning $700. Yes, the winner after 12 weeks gets $700. Go to changelfe.com and check out the 12-week challenge. It's going to be an amazing time. You get a free one-on-ones with me during the whole 12 weeks, however many you need. We're gonna do them. You get a free workout plan for 2 months. You get a free diet. Yeah, a whole diet plan, a 12-week diet plan. We take all the guessing out of it, and of course, you get that cookbook. And if you haven't joined our channel Beyond the Recipe on YouTube, we have shows on YouTube teaching you how to cook good meals. So please join our website, changelfe.com. If nothing else, just sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up for the newsletter, you can join the challenge, or you can come attend our 3-day webinar. So we've got a few options for you to make sure you can take your health to the next level, and that we are there to coach and guide you through this process. All right. So be careful getting back into the gym. Take your time, and worst case, sign up with us at Change LFE to get you some help. And we will see you soon.